An interesting aspect to opera is that usually the story is not the priority. What happens is not as important as how it is portrayed. This also comes as a side effect of unclear diction caused by the singing technique. It's not a film, it's not a play, it's not even a musical. As I've said before, some venues provide subtitles, others don't. In fact, it sometimes still is customary to give the audience a booklet with the libretto or a summary of the story, either of the whole thing or one act at a time. There can be selective omissions, of course, for the most varied reasons, since plot-related surprise effects are always interesting. That said, if you've asked a question that I haven't answered yet and it's been a while, there's no need to ask again, because I've probably chosen not to answer it. There's also the possibility that I might have overlooked it, so... Current estimates place the minimum number of soloists at 13, assuming they will change roles as the opera progresses, as many characters are exclusive to a specific act. This is not counting the solo dancer, the hurdy-gurdy player, the ballet corps, which can vary wildly in size and might or might not include 4 specific dancers that also need to be actors, or the choir, which requires a minimum of 27 members, but usually in operas of this size is not smaller than 40. This is also not counting the orchestra. I will not be using every single theme in a soundtrack, but most of them will appear. Q&A number 11 explains how organic development works in the opera, meaning how themes are deconstructed into variations. Some are eventually broken down so much that they become unrecognizable. At some point, they are as good as, and for all intents and purposes, originals. For example, the coda of the Stockpot Trio is already completely original. It just made sense to follow the previous deconstruction with that conclusion. You have many examples of this throughout the opera, from themes that will never appear in the original form, to sections derived from bits of subsections, of variations, of themes, etc, etc, etc. Basically, you'll hear a lot of stuff that is effectively new. The planning of the sets to be illustrated in the staging reference tome has been completed for a while. The only thing I am at liberty to say about the illustrations themselves for both sets and costumes is that they are underway. The reference illustrations for the sets will not include it, as it is a cumbersome element in an act that already requires frequent set changes.